I think part of the key of addictions that what addicts believe they value. And if you asked them and had a conversation with them and they were consciously talking about what are the values that you hold in life, I don't think those would match up with their behaviors and their actions. Because, many of the addicts that I talk to, I think that if you ask them what they value, I value relationship and I value honesty and I value
Loyalty,
independence and
fidelity.
loyalty and all those things. And yet, what are their actual values? I think in some ways their actual values are avoiding pain. You know, I
Hmm.
value I value freedom, but their actions in the moment don't match up with the values that they profess because the values that they sort of hold on to at their core level that's reflexive don't match. And I will just sort of foreshadow this because I think where our conversation's eventually going to go today is, and how does recovery help people shift their values and live their values?
Yeah. One of the things that I'm thinking about is values and needs. And so a lot of the conversations that I have is how do you keep your autonomy? How do you value and invest in your autonomy? We could talk about what that means and also invest in and be connected to people. So, when I look at the nonviolent communications needs list, both are there. Autonomy's there and connection with others is there. So I think for a lot of addicts, it's a new concept. True autonomy is a new concept, and connection is a new concept.
Yeah.
And especially, I mean, this past probably what we'll talk about today, but if I learn growing up through trauma or abuse that connection is not safe, and how do I get my needs met? It may not be directly by communicating them authentically. It's going to be indirect, or it's going to be how do I, if I need autonomy, how do I actually get that? Is it going to be, I need some space right now, or can I actually communicate what I want and need without having to take it somehow covertly?
And, we'll often talk about sex addiction as being an intimacy disorder. What's at the core of this? The sex addict wants to feel intimate and connected with another person. And so if you ask them, what's your value? My value is intimacy and connection. At the same time, they're using sex in a way to give them that false sense of connection in a way that doesn't overwhelm and scare them. So, what's their professed value is intimacy and connection. What's their acted out value? Their acted out value is, regulation. It's, escape. It's avoidance of pain. I don't know that those are values, but I mean, that's sort of the concept behind it.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I'm thinking, Dan, what you had said, that they really want to be connected, but then something prevents them from doing that. And so, can we say that with connection, there's a lot of neurotransmitters that are dumping in the brain to feel good, dopamine being one of them. So, if dopamine's dumping when we're feeling connected, and yet when the idea of being connected is happening, or a partner approaches to be in that yummy place and fear pops up from the past, why then would you want to pursue that? It would make sense then that you would go to porn or, another sexual act that is going to dump dopamine pure and clear without any fear. Am I on the right track here?
It feels, safer, quote unquote, than the human connection, which can be threatening and dangerous.
And yet I can hear partners saying, what are you talking about? I'm the safest person, right? I'm giving, I'm loving, I'm understanding. Why would fear jump up for, him or her when I'm trying to get close? And then, we say we want to go back to childhood and we want to see what happened there and what kind of wounding or trauma happened. And I think the partner will say, yeah, but I'm not that person. Why can't he or she distinguish that I'm different? I'm not that person. And so we
Which is
get,
a good question. That's
It
a
is.
huge question. And that is so true.
yeah, why can't they distinguish?